Hi everybody, this is Patrick from Sasquatch in the Wild, and this is a different side of the park. I'm starting this off over by Emerald Lake. We decided to do a little, kind of like a family group hike type of deal, since of me going around and hiking around. You can see, well, you can't see actually. I'm going to turn this camera just a little bit. That little glitchy thing that's sticking up. Where's it at? Where are we at here? I gotta go up here. So this thing right here does not exist. That is a glitch in the photograph. And this over here is Mount Elbert. And this is Emerald Lake. And these were two individuals I think were fishing on the side of the thing over here, but we all had come over here to kind of explore the area. And I really wanted to see if there was any Sasquatch activity in this area, and it didn't take very long to find it. Did I miss something off that? Oh, there we go. Oh, that. Why does it skip ahead like that? It's so dumb. Come on. So here we have a strange series of things happening. So if you look at it, you just think, oh, it's a bunch of trees that just had fallen. And the reality is it's really not that. I have to move the camera around or not zoom in. Zoom out a little bit so you can see everything that's really kind of going on here. You've got a tree right here that's a leaner. And at first I wouldn't have thought too much about this. But then you have this tree goes past, it's holding down this leaner at the base. And it goes over here and it goes up and it's bent up and it's held on by this tree here, and it's on the opposite side of this tree here, right? So then you have a tree that has no reason to be there stacked on top of it. You have another tree that looks like it may have been pushed over because the ground is upheaved a little bit over here, and that's over on this. You have this tree that is, I don't know if you can see that tree there or not. Let's aim down a little bit here. So you have this tree here. There's no root ball, there's nothing here down here that says that it should be here, but it goes underneath this tree here that is holding down this tree and this tree there. But it's also, I zoom in over to this thing, it goes over, oh yeah, it's over these two trees that are going across on the other side of this, and they're of equal length. So I mean, everything about this just is weird. There is so much weirdness, and both these trees are laying on top of this tree, which has no, does it have a root? Oh, it does. So this tree was pushed over because it looks like the roots have been broken up here. So that tree was pushed over for whatever reason. And then you have all these other trees that are just kind of weirdly placed on top of each other. So yeah, it's one of those strange, wonderful, weird, crappy things we come across, and we don't have any explanation for it. And now you can say as well, it's clearly Bigfoot related. It's got to be, right? It's got to be Bigfoot related. Let's turn the camera a bit. Hell. All right. And yes, my flicker has come back. Did I miss one? Okay, I did. So here's another one of those weird things. Kind of looks like an A structure. Well, I guess I have to zoom out. And I gotta zoom out more because you can't see all of it. There we go. So you have it looks like an X, and then you have a tree that has been brought in because there's no rhyme or reason for it down here. It's bent over or around these two trees, or this tree that's coming up. It's bent around it and goes all the way over here. And that kind of gives you that, oh, what do they call it? It looks kind of like the Star Trek pattern. I can't think what it's called at the top of my head. And then you have an X below it. And all these things are wrapped around this one setup, this one design. I think that's a pretty neat find, I do believe. Here we got a tree break. And there is a path that goes back and it veers off and goes up into this direction. And I was trying to get back up into that area. I did go to parts of this, and I was going over hills and stuff while everybody else was by the lake. I think I was photographing these two trees, and there must be a break because, oh no, that's coming off that tree. Oh no, this is the tree. So this tree is broken and it's coming back towards where I'm at. Yep, that's what I was filming, was that broken tree break, or that tree break. It's a close-up view of that thing. And it looks like it may have been twisted just a little bit. And that is a Bigfoot calling card. Usually when you find a tree break and it's been twisted a little bit or even a lot, it's a good thing. And even, God, that's weird looking. Even these marks down here on the tree, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Can you see that one? Oh yeah, okay. So these marks here kind of almost look like a thumb, finger, like something was holding on to this. And that looks like it's weirdly bent anyway. And then it's broken up here. That's pretty strange. Aspens have a good ability to scar easy, and this may be one of those things. It doesn't really look like an elk scratch, and it's not a bear scratch because bears usually scratch more on the vertical side, not on the horizontal, and that's kind of strange. It is a little bit on the weird side. Here we have an X and another weird structure. Here you have a tree that's been either broken off, which kind of looks like it was maybe broken off of this tree here. But you have the end that's here, or the top part. That is the top part of the tree. And that may have been this top part of this tree. But you have this other tree that's been brought up to it, and another section of that tree, or one of the sections was brought up to this, and another section was brought up across this. And again, this is one of those weird things. It almost looks like two mountains. This is more of a flat top type of mountain, and this is a more of a pointed type mountain. It's actually kind of intriguing to look at. I find things like this usually wrapped around a tree, and you'll find a tree like right in the middle of all this stuff. It is funny that there's a fire ring right here, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that, if you're a person, why would you drag in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trees and stack them into kind of a star pattern? Seems kind of odd. And not one of these was growing at that location. They all have their root structures sticking up and out. Different view. These were a pair of arches. This tree here is actually part of this. I'm going to zoom in on it, and it's been peeled away. So this tree has been splintered backwards. It looks like the bark was removed because this is the bark here. But this should have been in an upright position. But again, it was just broken and held down and placed on the ground, and then they put these other logs on top of them, just like this one right here. An X. X in the distance. Another weird structure. This is broken. That's a pretty good break too. And it's resting on top of this chewed area. Looks like maybe from a muskrat or a beaver. It's broken and it sits right on top of that thing. And then there's another tree or a top of a tree that was placed on top of it. A big star pattern. The lake is over here to the right. Triangle. What's crazy about this tree is it's split and it goes around this tree right here. That's pretty neat. And not only do you have a push down log here, but you have a log that was either brought in or pushed over. Nope, it was brought. Looks like, no, maybe it is. Is that a stump? Oh, that's a stump. So it's been pushed over and broken, and it sits on top of this to keep everything down or in place. Another tree break. What's funny about this log is all the branches have been removed, but you have a break here, like something stepped on it. It almost looks like a footprint. That's right here. And then you have, this is broken here. The top of the tree's down there. Another A-like structure with an X underneath it. It's almost like a teepee structure the way this thing looks. You have the leaner here. It's crossing over this tree. And then you got a couple other trees that were brought in or pushing down on this tree. So it can't bounce back into its proper position. You have two different trees that are crisscrossing over. This tree here in the back is crossing over this and connecting up in between the branches on this tree. This tree here is pinning this tree from going anywhere. This might be something, but I don't actually know if it is. But I'm pretty sure that this around here is normal for them to do. Footprint. So this is one of my cool finds. So the hill's back here. And there looks like there's a lump or something going up to about where this rock is. And you have a toe here, a big toe. Then you got another toe. And you have another toe. And the littlest toe. So you have 5 toes sitting here going across this thing. Another footprint. The hill's back here. Looks like he was dragging something behind him. But you have all the toes are up here. X structure. Oops, did I miss one? Nope. All right, let's go back. You got a bunch of leaners all kind of trapping this one thing in place. It's almost like an asterisk right here, but it's at a weird angle. I didn't get a good angle photograph of that. But I was looking at the stuff behind it, making a big square. This is a different view of that weirdness that's going on here. You have too many trees crisscrossing each other for this just to be windblown. This tree here is holding down this tree in place, and as well as this tree that's is being pressed down by this as well. This tree is kind of supporting this tree here. I mean, the more you look at it, the more chaotic it gets. And then we got another arch over here to the right. So you got that structure here. You have, I do believe there's something right here. And then there is the arch over here. Another tree break, which is weird because this tree break here, if you zoom in on it, it's broken up here, right? So that is what? That's about, let's see, it'd be maybe 5-6 feet here. It's about 12-13 feet off the ground. It's broken. Goes down here, and it's broken again. And the rest of the tree is going straight out. I found this kind of cool for ground art. You have one log sitting on top of two other logs that are intersecting. Another view of that. Got a V going on. I thought this was kind of cool looking. Looks like a Chinese symbol. Funky little pattern in the ground. Three trees that all had been fallen, and all three have been twisted, all facing the same direction. So this tree was fallen and it was split and twisted. This tree also part of that, I guess. It might be also split and twisted. And then you have this one down here, also split and twisted. All three of them are facing the same direction. This is kind of the area that I was photographing, that I was exploring and looking back around. The lake is behind me. It may not be a good shot. In fact, I think it's very blurry. Here we got the picture of the X and the weird, I want to say it might be the A structure there. No, it's just a couple of trees leaning in on each other. And then you got some of the other structures that are over here out to the right. Two trees, if they would have been falling over on one side, I would have probably dismissed this. But you got a tree that's extending off to the right and a tree that's extending off to the left. Geometric patterns on the ground. A whole bunch of them. And they're all going into each other and like they're interlocking in a weird way. But you have trees that butt up against the tree that's extending off to the right. You have trees that are merging up to other ones. And if you look around in the distance, you would expect you would see more of this going on over here, and there's nothing going on over there. And then you'd look over here in the background, there's nothing. But in this one specific area, you have a whole bunch of trees that are set up in some weird pattern for some weird reason. Different look on the same thing. Now you could just say it's just a log and you have logs that just fell on top of logs here, but when you start seeing reoccurring patterns of the same thing, you know that it is not true on this. There's the lake in the background. You got different trees, and again, way back here in the background, there are no trees really laying on the ground. There's nothing over there. There's a log over there, maybe a log that's over there, or that's maybe the ground with the light casting on it. But there is nothing. Oh, it's all blurry, zooming in on that. But there's nothing really, except for in this area close to the picnic area. And I just don't see, again, people stacking trees like this in geometric patterns, you know, and just waiting for somebody to identify it. Same type of deal. You have a tree and a tree meeting each other. And then you have two trees kind of going on one side of the tree over here. I lost my train of thought. That figures. But you have trees that are coming up to a point. So you have a tree here going up to a point. You have a tree going up here to a point. And they're sitting on top of this log and this log over here that leads up to another tree that comes over here and it's butted up against that tree. And then you have another tree that's way over to the right that comes around and swings up to that one as well. So yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening up all around this area. Another triangle. Usually if you follow triangles from either this point of view or this point or where that point is, you'll find your trails. Just like if you follow the V, if this wasn't here and you just want my direction, like walking towards me, you'd probably end up finding some type of trailhead or a road or a path or a game trail. You're going to run into those things. Is that it? That would be it. All right, we're at 22 minutes and 30 something seconds. I'm going to cut it now. I will put together the Mount Elbert stuff and try to get that video out just as fast as this one. And I will talk to you again on Sunday. My name is Patrick. This is Sasquatch in the Wild. Actually, that's not true. I will try to get, if I can get the other video out, it'll hopefully be out tomorrow night or Thursday, but then I'll try to aim for Sunday again. If I can get my stupid leg to quit acting stupid. Anyway, my name is Patrick, and I'll talk to you later. This is Sasquatch in the Wild. Hope you enjoyed the journey, and I'll see you soon.